Sorry, I'm still laughing. I just got a death threat. It's not the first time in my life, so, I don't take it too serious. I've had my tires slashed. I've had death threats in my mailbox when I was dealing with handicapped children, that people did not want those kids in their neighborhood. Not in our neighborhood, but today, the one guy, you can look at his comments on there. He said, but I think it was about the garments and the two missionaries who sadly were killed. And he says, "You better respect my friends, or else." Or else what? I said, the Mormon cult put them out there. I didn't. And, that's not my responsibility. Right to President Monson. He put him in Texas on a bicycle. Hey, I didn't. I wouldn't let my kids go in Texas on a bicycle. I've been in Texas. Okay, this video is on the priesthood authority in Mormon homes. And I'm probably going to name the video, don't hold me to this, the penis and the priesthood make the final decisions in Mormon homes. Now, if you don't know this, and I know 80%, man, you Utah girls, you 45 to 50-year-old women in Utah, you're 80% of my hits. I don't know why. But I want to bring this up because if you're a woman in the church, you can't bring this up. And if you're a man, you just reinforce it. I got the penis, I make the decisions here. Back into the bedroom or get in the kitchen and make me something to eat. Well, the Mormon church, again, this is the underground Mormon church, and a lot of the Mormon church is underground. You're not probably going to see this anywhere in writing. I don't think I've ever seen it in writing. But the church says the man has the final decision in the house. Now, I've been a man for 64 years now. My birthday is this month, and I have been in the Mormon church over 50 years, and I've been married. This is my 6th marriage. And so I have a little bit of experience making all the decisions. If you're married 6 times, that philosophy didn't work very well, did it? I had the final decision. Who can I blame? The women in the church always get the blame, and the dark-skinned people always get the blame when anything goes wrong in the Mormon church. Well, I'm going to do this video on why. Why does the Mormon church think that the man who has the penis has superior intelligence? That doesn't necessarily go together just because you have 2 heads. The little head many times tells the big head what to do, and it usually screws a man's life up. Now, my experience has been this. I've been a single father. I had 5 children under 6 or 7. And I nurtured them and took care of them, and I thought I could be as good as a mother. In the day-by-day changing and feeding and supervision, I was. But I wasn't as good as a mother. I was shocked. I thought that a man could be loved as much by his children as a mother if he was playing that role. It wasn't true. For me, it wasn't true. The children still loved their natural birth mothers, no matter how well I cared for them. So there's one thing that women do better than men. They do nurture, and they do have psychological attachments to children, and children have to them. That whether you're a man and you like it or not, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The other thing is with this intelligence, I was always in charge of the finances. I always chose the Corvettes and the boats and, the houses that I could never afford. And all of the things in the family, I was in charge of the money. Well, we never been bankrupt. But only because we've been on the run for 50 years. They can't serve me. So, again, women have a little bit better, I think, in fact, a lot better financial sense than a man does. They know when they're spending too much. They can back off and say to the man, no, we can't afford that. They're in charge of the kids. They know the kids' clothes and the food and utilities. The women are more informed on what it takes to run a household than a man is. Okay? Now, that's two. Number three is women have more patience in everything. You know, if someone... God, I remember this. I pulled into a handicap stall a couple of months ago, and I have a handicap sticker glued onto my windshield. And some old geezer was on the sidewalk. And I got out of the car, and the old boy says to me, "This is handicap parking. You don't belong here." And I said, "Screw you, old man. I'll put your lights out. Shut your mouth and get out of my way." Now, women don't do that shit. There was going to be two old geezers out there. He couldn't see, I couldn't hear. I'd had heart surgery, and we're going to pound on each other because we're men. It's I can't even say it. Testosterone. And the estrogen in women that makes them more gentle. A girl would get out of the car and say, "Well, excuse me, I have a handicap sticker right there. Can you see that? Why don't you come over?" You know, they're peacemakers, and they're sweet, and they're kind. Men aren't. We're assholes. Most women say we're dogs or pigs. That's not too far off either for many men. So there you go. You know, they're more gentle. They're better with children. They have more patience. They know more about finances. And they're really quite a bit more, if I don't like the word spiritual, but you that are watching me, that would be the word you would use. They're inclined to teach the children to pray, thanking a God that the food was there on the table. They never say shit about the dad who was out working his ass off and brought the paycheck home, but they thank God. And they bathe the kids, and, you know, they clean up shit diapers, and when kids vomit, the dad goes, you know, and they take care of that. They live longer. They do live longer than men. That's probably because men have to live with them. No, ladies, don't start throwing crap at the tube. Okay. You are stronger. You live longer. And I watched most of my kids born. And I'm telling you, of all the things I've seen in life, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen, is a human being come out alive out of another human being. And the second consequence is that I've never seen a vagina expand like that and ever go back to normal. But they do. They're magic machines within the 2 or 3 days. They're just like they were before Mr. Baby came crashing through there. So if men had to suffer the birth of children and have a C-section or a vaginal birth and then get up and walk around in 3 days, that ain't gonna happen, you know. I've had hangnails, or I've stubbed a little toe. I'm in bed for 2 weeks. Bring me food. Bring me cookies. Get me some milk. 3 ice cubes, you know. Men are babies. They're babies, and they just... they're not as good. I really believe, I don't believe in Mormonism anymore, and I really don't believe in Jesus anymore, but I do believe this. I think that the Mormon church giving the priesthood to the men is the right thing to do because women don't need the priesthood. I've seen more children healed by just a mom holding it in the middle of the night and singing to it. The baby's fine. You know, the priesthood, you're putting, you know, oil on their head and blessing him. The person is dead in the morning. So I've seen it with my own eyes. I've done it. I'm not ordained. I was in a healing with another gentleman and on an older lady, and we came out of the house down the steps, and I said, "She's going to die, isn't she?" And he says, "Yes, she is." So again, why is it? Who made up the rule that the man has the last say in the house? It was probably the men. And the women are so gentle and so kind. They go, screw it. Let him do it. He'll figure it out. But we never do. So these days, and I know it's a good thing you women are watching because the men will just switch this off. But these days, I put the house in my wife's name. I put the 2 new cars in my wife's name, and the checking account is totally controlled by my wife, and all the monies flow in there. I'm allowed to have 1 little thin credit card that I can use over at Desert Industries, and sometimes she'll say, "Not this week. Not this week. Don't buy anything." Okay. But you know what? It's the first time in my life the car payments are on time. It's one of the first times in 50 years I have car insurance. I used to be like a radar unit looking for the police because I couldn't afford car insurance. And in Utah, they have a new thing in police cars. It just looks at your license plate in an instant and can tell if you have insurance or not. And I did get nabbed on that about 3 years ago. So I do have car insurance. All of my payments are up, and all of the credit cards are up, and the house is clean. And all I have to do is just sit over there in that chair, and my TV is right there, unless I go, I think I'll do a video. So I exercise 8 feet, come over here, and do this. I'm not kidding you. I really believe that women are the superior race. They're stronger. They're wiser, they're kinder, they're more patient. And I'm going to tell you something. When I had custody of my 5 kids as a single father, it was the hardest job I've ever had in my life, taking care of minor children. And I've worked heavy construction. I've built skyrise buildings in Los Angeles, and I've driven a bus and truck, and I've done some of the manly things. That was the hardest thing in the world. Changing diapers, running to the school, toilet training. Oh my God. I just about went totally nuts. So men, give a little bit more credit to the women. And it's very interesting. The statistics show that if men are not married, they die sooner than they ordinarily would. If they're married, they have a long life expectancy. Makes no difference to a woman. She'll live into her 80s and 90s, whether a man is there or not. We're just kind of a live sperm bank there for 20 or 30 years. So, why does the penis, the little general, have the final word? Well, he shouldn't have the final word in the bedroom. He shouldn't have the final word in finances. And the other things that we do, the Ponzi schemes, buying boats that we shouldn't have had, hunting, shooting ourselves in the foot, wrecking cars, getting in fights, selling stuff that should have never been sold or too cheap, slapping the kids when mom would have gone, hey, come here, she would have handled it. So the Mormons have made up the idea that the man has the final say. Now, I believe there should be a consensus. I believe it should be a dual decision and unanimous. But if she says no, then in my life now, it's no. I love to buy new cars, and I like to buy expensive cars. And she has said to me this year, we're not buying any more cars. No. And you can buy only one thing at Desert Industries per week. And boy, that really cuts me out of my fun. And she determines how often we eat dinner, and she buys all the food, she cooks all the food, and I have finally learned that a man having the last say is bullshit. Like the Mormon church is bullshit. Just having a penis doesn't put you in charge or make you smart, and in many ways it makes you vulnerable and dumb. This has been the best marriage I have ever had, because a happy wife is a happy life. You've heard that from David. A happy wife is a happy life. Man, I just sit over there in the chairs and drink my Coke and potato chips and that onion dip and have the remote to change the channels. And I just push the intercom and go, honey, could I just get a little supper tonight? Okay. Have you been a good boy? Yes, I have. And in she comes with this great big meal, and I'm going, God, I've left the Mormon church and I'm really in heaven. I've really gone to heaven. I have let the woman have her forte show. She's good in a lot of things. She's never bounced a check. I used to budget $150 a month in my account for bounce check. That was just a charge. I just made a donation to the bank. She's never bounced a check. She's never made a late payment. I have a FICO score that's in the negative. I really have to be honest here. Those women are smarter than we are. And if you want to just sit back in your chair and watch the game and eat your potato chips and your Coke, God, give her a chance to at least have half input, if not more, than half input into the family, because my little wife, and I'm telling you, mine is from the Philippines. She's only been in the United States 3 or 4 years, and didn't come with any English, didn't come with any knowledge of the United States. And the girl is one of the highest paid people over there at Walmart, and she's been there for 3 years. They love her. She gets raises, and she gets 2 weeks vacation. She gets stock. She gets a 401k matching. When I was working, I didn't have anything. There was no security. There was no life insurance. Now I'm hoping, and she knows it, because I invited her on a helicopter ride the other day. Not that I have a helicopter, but a guy that did. And she said, "Well, you're just sending me up there because I have almost $1 million life insurance." And I says, "You're right, honey." She said, "No, I'm not going." See, they're smart. They're smart. So let these women be themselves and get that ego off of the little general. Just because you get erections doesn't mean you own the whole damn world. And the more you treat her with respect, and the more you treat her with dignity, and when she can type better than you or think, or you need good advice, for God's sakes, go to your best friend and say, "What do you think?" And if she says, "Well, let me think about it for a few days," don't do anything. And then she may come back and go, "Well, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that?" And I go, "Oh, no, I never thought of that. I never think of failure. I just think of fun, 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 fun." And that's what's gotten me in 6 marriages. And until I left the Mormon church, my life was shit. I used to use credit cards for tithing because I thought the windows of heaven will open up and blow in dollar bills. It never did. It never did. So anyway, the Mormon church's last stand, I guess, is that if you have a penis and you're married, Mr. Penis makes all the final decisions. Thanks.